And the gate fair is right now. The gate fair after school?
Yes, it's right across at Bateman Hall.
So tomorrow and Thursday and Wednesday,
Yes.
3 to 7.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Espinosa. First, Ms. Johnson went too fast. We want to thank, on behalf of the board, the AVID presenters today. We are big supporters of AVID. We're happy that it's a continuous program. Obviously, it started a couple of years ago, but we want to acknowledge that we've gone a long way, and I know that some of the people, including yourselves, who are here today, are big pushers for this event, or this program actually. And I couldn't agree with you guys more than visiting colleges is extremely important, because once you expose kids to, or students to the colleges, they will understand the difference between UCLA, USC, Cal State, a community college. I remember when I was in school myself, I went to UCLA the first time I went to it, and I was just amazed by the nice houses that were around the community. The Westwood is beautiful, and I was like, my God, I want to live here one day. So it's that mentality we want to create our students to know that there's a nice car they can drive one day, that there's a big house that they can own one day. They should be motivated. Sometimes because of resources, including myself, we don't get to go out as much when we're kids. So I think it's good to promote the college business, and I think it's really good to do that. So thank you again, and of course, students that were acknowledged today. Congratulations to all of them on behalf of the board. It's been a busy time, busy last 2 weeks. I was invited and finally went to a meeting at Lynwood Middle School with the Parents in Action. I want to thank Jackie for inviting me to attend. Fortunately, we were able to bring a lot of the staff. There's a lot of questions that were presented at the meeting. I was happy to hear some of the questions, and I really encourage our staff to really follow up on some of the concerns. As the community knows, as board members, we, or at least some of us like to get involved, but sometimes because of time, we can't be there all day. That's why we have staff to follow up on some of these issues. So I'm sure Jackie and her parents will let me know if things are not being followed through. I'm sure there's already concern about a couple of things, and I heard some heads nodding, so I'm not going to look to the back anymore. But at least it was, I think, a good first step, and like the parents said, it's going to create a bridge between the parents of Lynwood Middle School and the district. So I really also hope that we create that, and I look forward to attend another meeting. So to be transparent, yes, it's very important. So I just hope, as a board member, and I'm sure my colleagues will agree, that we hope that the parents feel like someone's listening to them. Of course, I also attended one of the nights at choral concert, and our students are great. It's always good to see. And Mr. Espinosa actually noticed this. It was one of the groups that was singing and performing, and one of the little sisters was actually singing along with with the group. And what that really shows me is that these younger brothers and sisters are watching the older brothers and sisters, and that whatever they're doing, good or bad, they're gonna copy. And so I made it a point, because we were always recognized as board members to speak. I talked to the parents that it's good when kids get involved in these such programs, because the younger kids will look and will be hopefully motivated and inspired to do the same. In the same way it works when they're doing bad things. If the kids are doing bad things, the younger ones might follow. So it's just good that we have these ongoing programs. I mean, since I've been a student, I participate myself in a choral. Not that I was the best singer, but these programs have continued, and I'm just happy that they're still here. So it's almost like Lynwood has talent, almost like the show in what is it in Britain? Is that what it is? Wherever it's at. Yeah, American Has Talent, whatever it is. I don't watch TV as much, so as you can tell, I kind of a little lost on that. We were talking about election day, so we just hope for the best, and I hope that our elected officials on our state are making the right decisions and are not going to affect education as much. With that, I was thankful of CTA that invited me to their phone banking. I was able to attend, do some phone calls for the propositions, but unfortunately they didn't go our way. I wanted to announce that our next board meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, June 9th, might and most likely be moved to June 10th, just the following day at the same time. So we're still working on details. I know that we have some presentations, just for some conflicting schedules. We might have to change it to the next day, but of course it's a public meeting, so we'll agendize it. But I wanted to give notice that we might be changing it from the Tuesday the 9th to Wednesday the 10th. So for all of you fans who love to come and see us at the board meeting, make sure you put that on your calendars, that we might change that to the following day. because I know how much you guys love to come to board meetings. There's always public requests that are made here in public, and we just want to remind staff that a 2-week window is always good. I was busy this last two weeks just working on some of that stuff, so just want to remind staff that a 2-week period is always a good, I think, a healthy opportunity to get back to the public when they ask questions and have concerns. So just want to remind you guys about that. Attended the classified luncheon. And then the other morning I was going to work, and across the street there's a Repossessed home being sold. I called our chief of security because I caught about 7 students that were in that house coming out. Fortunately, and it just kind of happened, I was going to follow them, and I began to call security so that someone could come and hopefully catch these kids. Fortunately, there was a sheriff that was right behind me, and I was telling him to go in front of me, but he was like, "What are you doing?" So at that point, I got a little scared, but I have a license and I'm going to drive. So I told him where I was, and he just looked confused, but I just said, "Look, these kids just are ditching," but he actually went back to the house. So essentially what I'm getting to as a community, we have to continue working. There's 2 things that bug me is ditching and graffiti. And I know that some of the people in the community have always called me to make sure we clean the graffiti, but the ditching has to stop. And some of the times these kids need an opportunity. So I went to the school, because of course I didn't catch it, they ran away. But I went to the school and I caught 4 of them, 2 in the restroom and 2 in the hallway. I took them to the principal's office and I requested their attendance record. And I told them that they could have gotten a truancy ticket, they could have possibly got arrested by the sheriff because they could have been caught possibly trespassing the property, and it could have got worse. So I made a pledge to the students that if they just didn't ditch anymore, that I would not go to the house, and I wouldn't, we didn't give them a truancy ticket. But the moment that I see a pattern again, I was going to personally go to their house and talk to their parents. So as a community, we need to do more of that stuff, because what good is it to give them a ticket at times and they're just going to continue doing it? They're just going to hate the system more. They're going to hate the process. So as a community, I encourage all of you to keep your eyes open if you see any kids stitching that. Just hopefully call somebody, do something about it. Our website, just real quick, this is more for our staff. This board has made our website a priority, because we are very confident that that will be our vehicle to make sure that we have every form possible online, make sure that we have every document possible from the district online, not only for board members to access the website 24 hours a day, all year long, but for the community. Well, I just want to remind all staff that we have a group working with us, and please get them the information they're requesting. They've confronted some bumps here and there. They need information. They need, including our board members, we need to give them our bio information that they're requesting. So I think they called today for some information. But if our staff can get them information, they need information from the district so they could go ahead and work on the website. And then just some last personal thoughts. Today is a very historic day. President Obama has nominated first woman Latina to the U.S. Supreme Court, and I'm not gonna give you my full opinion of it, but it's a historic day. Whatever you think about it. Personally, I'm stoked. I'm excited. It really shows that something that obviously this community is not struggling with anymore, but how an African American community could work with the Latino community, and how the first African American president has nominated a woman, Latina, to be that person. So it's just very motivating, exciting to see that. But of course, hours later, there's another decision by our California Supreme Court of upholding Proposition 8. And one of our students actually called me. She happens to be a lesbian student here in Lynwood, because we do have all kinds of students, not just Latino and African American students in Lynwood. We have all types of students, and all of our students need support. Statistically, these students are part of the LGBT community, have committed suicide, have committed, not the best things because of the support, the lack of support. So of course I refer the student to a counselor, because she just wanted to know what, if anything, she could do, and she was just confused about the situation, and she just felt that her civil right of that issue was not in line with her thinking. So it's just important that our counselors and our schools are making sure that they talk to our students and make sure they address. And I hope that this issue is resolved one day, because we're all Americans and we all have rights, and we all should have the right to get married one day. So it's very interesting that even in Lynwood, we have a student that was very concerned. And so I want to personally tell that student, like as I did, and to any student, that we are here to support all our students. It doesn't matter what you look like, what your sexual orientation is, or your religious belief, that we're here to support every student so that they can succeed, get a high school diploma, and do great things in this world, in this country. Because we do have students that are currently working on their doctorate from Harvard. We do have students that are going to great universities, and we have to make sure that they succeed in life. So again, if you know any student that is going through the issue of confusion with the whole proposition, show them some support because they need it. With that, I conclude my comments.